Okay. All right. Well, none of that was recorded, so that's good.
No, and then I have to re-clap because I realize I can't sync it if that's not recorded.
Exactly. Okay. Now count us down. Guess what, guys?
We're not doctors.
No, we are not.
If you're going to be making any major medical decisions, please consult your doctor.
Yes, and that includes diets, exercise, medications, and surgery.
We love you guys.
And we want you to be in our OSLP family forever.
So be careful
and consult
your doctors.
Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome back, OSLP family!
Welcome.
You are listening to our Sleep Light podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And dudes,
guys, ladies and gents,
we've got an episode for you today.
Yes, we do.
I am so excited because I have so many questions, and I've been watching her, and I knew from the moment she stepped in, I was like, this girl's going to be big because she's got a good story.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and introduce her. Welcome onto the show, Caitlin, which she is $5.99 to Damn She's Fine on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, Kelly showed me your stuff, like, I think a year ago, or maybe, like, a little bit less than that. And you were like, oh, my God, look.
Yeah. And I was like, we have to get her on because I want to hear her whole story.
Well, and you're just relatable.
Yeah.
You know, like
I try. I take a lot of pride in that people are like, I follow you because like a lot of people say my videos are like being on FaceTime with me.
Yeah.
And that like, I just like, I keep it real and I don't sugarcoat stuff and, you know, I'll cry if I have to and I'll laugh and I'll tell it how it is. When I'm struggling, I don't hide it. You know, my Instagram and my TikTok isn't a reel of all the good. You know what I mean? It's not all the highlights of this journey. It's every step along the way.
I love that because it really highlights like what we actually go through on a weight loss journey, whether that be on your own or with the help of surgery or the help of a GLP-1. Like there is an ups and downs. Like I'm on my second regain. Like what the fuck? Like that's not what I signed up for.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
I was like, oh, I'm going to lose this weight and it's going to be off forever. And I don't like,
you're like, oh, it's done.
It's done.
We're done now.
I did it. But then the one round came, lost that. Now I'm in my second round.
And you'll lose that.
And I'll lose that. And it'll probably be a third or fourth. It's fine. It's fine, guys. But can you go back and tell us where you started struggling with your weight?
We love ProCare. You guys know this. And guess what? They have a brand new product out and it tastes like an orange Tic Tac.
That's right. I have got it in my hot little hands right now. It's their easy to swallow tablet in Citrus Grove. And both of us have fully switched over to it.
We had to because it's easy to swallow, doesn't stick, and it has 45 milligrams of iron. And we both need that.
Yes, we do. So go to procarenow.com to take care of all your bariatric body needs. And our code is the only one that gets you a full 15% off. So use code OSLP at checkout. Are you feeling a little sluggish? Little lack of protein? Little lack of caffeine? Well, we got the fix for that.
That's right. Dive Bar Nutrition has the best protein bars. They have caffeine, protein, and they taste delicious.
So head on over to divebarnutrition.com and use code OSLP at checkout.
Yeah. So I know I've been big my whole life. I used to joke that I came out of the womb plus size, which in reality, I was actually a really tiny baby. I believe I was like 6 pounds, 2 ounces.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
So
Totally
like,
normal.
like it's really not even like accurate for me to joke like that, but I definitely started having an unhealthy relationship with food at a very early age.
Okay.
I can remember elementary school age, lying, sneaking, stealing food. A core, I don't want to say core memory, but a core memory I have is I used to live like maybe a 5 minute walk from my school when I was in fifth grade.
Okay.
And my parents would leave in the morning to go to work, and there would be like a 10-minute window before them leaving to go to work and me having to leave to go walk up to school. So I'd
Okay.
be home for 10 minutes alone. And I would go through like a pound of sliced cheese, a pound of like turkey, like deli meat, and like I'd just I'd eat for those 10 minutes and then, go to school and try to think nobody would notice or call me out on it when I would get home.
Wow.
But I remember like hiding food under my bed and, hiding wrappers in the closet and just doing stuff like that as a kid. I definitely had like childhood drama. I'm from a broken home. I don't like to play the victim in all of this.
Yeah.
I don't like to blame my parents. I don't like to blame my upbringing. But at the end of the day, like it is what it is. I grew up not in the best financial situations. I grew up in the projects. I grew up, are we going to have hot dogs with bread for dinner? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like we didn't have all these like gourmet meals, and
Yeah.
we definitely survived on low income food. And,
Yeah.
I reached a point later on in my childhood where like food wasn't always guaranteed,
Yeah.
like, are we going to eat today? Are we going to eat tonight? So when I had food in front of me, I was going to take as much as I could. Oh,
Yeah.
like I'd go eat at a friend's house and mom and dad would be like, oh, you want seconds? I'm like, that's a thing? Like, hell yeah, I want
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, I want seconds. Like,
Yeah.
I could be so
100%.
full and uncomfortable and like, I'm getting that another plate if it's offered.
Yeah.
But then like to go back even a little further, like cleaning your plate was celebrated in my house.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be eating dinner and it'd be like, who's going to be in the clean plate club tonight? You know what I mean? Like, so you'd eat everything on your plate, and then you're in the clean plate club. Hell yeah, like stuff like that. I can recall many different times in my childhood where I'm like, yeah, it probably wasn't the best thing to do with food, or that was probably a sign, or that probably indicated that. As I got a little older, there's a story that I tell my best friend a lot, and we always laugh. But when I was in high school, I think I was a freshman. I had to walk by a Burger King to get to and from school, and I remember saving my lunch money one week and going to Burger King one day after school and getting like the quadruple Whopper.
Okay.
Because I know that's something my mom would never let me order, would never buy for me, but like I had to have it. I wanted to know what it was like to eat this huge, massive Whopper. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
like those are the things that I fixated on was food, and it's always been food. I touched a little bit on like family trauma and stuff like that. The one thing that has been consistent in my life is food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My
Oh,
parents in my life hasn't been consistent. We moved around like crazy when I was little. Like the one thing that I always had was food, and food was never going to leave me.
No.
Yeah.
And like that, like I truly find such a comfort in food.
Yeah. I could totally relate to you
Yeah.
on so many levels of what you're saying. I came from a broken home. My mom was a single mom with 4 girls.
Yep.
She had to do what she had to do. And so we grew up poor. And I know Mel did too.
Yeah, there was times where water wasn't on, electricity wasn't on. We had to figure out, like, me and my older brother would, like, go through the cupboards and try to figure out what we could make that might be good, you know?
Right.
Because, and I watched my parents just argue, and it was insane the shit that they would do. And yeah, like, the one thing for both of us and you is consistent is food.
Right.
It was the only thing that made us feel good. And even my parents didn't realize that they were using it as a coping. Like, oh, Melanie's upset, go get her some ice cream. Oh, Melanie's upset again, let's get her some more pork chops and rice. Let's go and get her cookies. Like, it was always food.
Yeah.
So, like, we both had a really unhealthy relationship.
Yeah. And my mom always cooked pretty healthy because she was very like, okay, if I buy this chicken, that's going to last us a lot longer, you know? But when I was bedridden, through my autoimmune diseases, that's what I used to comfort myself. I was stuck in a bed. So what am I going to do? I'm going to eat.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm going to have, like, I remember a time where I called my mom and I was like, hey, can you go get me this ice cream? And because I'm in pain, she does it. Yep. She went and got the ice cream for me, or people would bring me candy or ice, all these things. Yeah. And so that would be brought to me. And so food was always a comfort because I couldn't get out of bed. Yep. And so if I could cope through that, you go. Yeah. And that's why to this day, every time I lay down, I'm like, ooh, I should be eating something.
I know. That feeling's so weird.
I know.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's crazy too, because like I try to, when I try to explain to people that like don't get it, like I have a core friend group in the real world. I have hundreds of thousands of people on the internet, but I'm not a very big people person in real life. I have 4 or 5 people that like I hang out with on a regular basis, and I think the heaviest person in that group is 180 pounds. Oh. So I am significantly larger than my friend group by a lot.
Yeah.
So like they just don't get it sometimes. Yeah. And I try to like explain it, and it's like I eat for every emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I laugh when people are like, "Oh, I broke up with my boyfriend. I lost 15 pounds. I haven't eaten in days." Oh, like, bro, I break up with my boyfriend. I'm eating a fucking grocery store. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm mad, I eat. When I'm sad, I eat. When I'm excited, I eat. When like. Eating is the answer to everything. Yes. I don't know how, I'm learning now, as we'll get into that later, but like, I didn't know how to celebrate without food.
Same.
Yeah. Like, how do you plan a birthday, a graduation, a promotion? How do you celebrate anything and not be like, so what restaurant we going to?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, how is food not involved in life celebrations?
Yeah.
And like that was a huge thing for me to grasp. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, your birthday is coming up. Oh, you want to know where I want to go to eat? Like, like we don't do that no more, Caitlin. You want to go like mini golf? You want to go for matches? Like, and I'm like, oh, that's what people do. Like,
yeah. Well, it was like for this year, we did go out to dinner for my bonus kid's daughter for her birthday. But then after we went to this place, Bullwinkle's, and they have like go-karts and mini golf and all of that. And it was so nice to be able to be like, okay, we aren't just eating. Yeah. Like we're actually having an activity that we go do. Or, sometimes we'll be like, okay, it's your birthday. We're going to go to the beach. Yeah. We're going to go hang out. We're going to walk around the outlet mall, like do all of that. And so it's really nice to like now think about it in a different way.
It's so hard though. Like,
it is.
Because I'm 9 years out. So it took me a few years to like get that understanding under my belt. Because like, my birthday's next month and my brother's like, okay, I'm going to take you to a spa. And I'm like, what?
Right.
Like that's not like, I've never even been to a spa. Like what's going on right now?
Yeah. Which is amazing.
It's such a dynamic switch up for us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we can do things that doesn't involve food.
Yeah. I remember my first birthday after surgery. Yeah. And I was only like, a month out, something like that. And I was like, what do I do for my birthday? Yeah. Because I can't, I don't want to go to a restaurant because I'm on a very specific diet. And what do I do? And so we ended up going to a paint splatter place.
Fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was great. We had so much fun. And then we had a watermelon birthday cake.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell us all the things. So when do you think that you realize I can't do this anymore?
So the first time I seriously tried to lose weight was 2019.
Okay.
And I had joined a diet bet that was very big back then. Were diet bets. And I had joined a diet bet. No, let me back up even a little bit further. I was in a mom group on Facebook, like a local mom group, like Moms of Salem, whatever, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And they were like, we're going to do a weight loss challenge for the new year. And I'm like, I'll do that. Like, I can afford to lose a few pounds. I got this. Like, just a few, I can afford it.
Yeah.
So then I get on the scale to weigh myself, January 3rd, because that was the Monday of that year. So we didn't start January 1st. We started January 3rd. And I get on the scale and it was 509 pounds. And I fell to my bathroom floor. Like I said, I've always been a big girl, but 500 was the number for me. It was like, yeah, I'm fat, but I'm not 500 pounds. Like,
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big bitch, but like, I'm not 500 pounds. I'm doing good. You know what I mean? Like, it could be worse. Like, yes, I'm ginormous, but like, I'm not 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So to get on that scale and see 509, I broke, like, I legit fell to my bathroom floor and just sobbed and was like, what did I do? Like, how did I get here? You know what I mean? Like, this is not okay. I had, how old was Hunter at the time? My oldest son was like 3, and then I had a 1-year-old, and it's like, I'm gonna die. Like, my kids aren't gonna see me, like, I'm not gonna see my kids grow up. Like, something's gonna give. And then I ended up losing 130 pounds. I got down to like 386, I think was my lowest weight with that time. And I did it naturally, which I was very big on that back in the day. You know what I mean?
We all were. Yeah.
My bio said naturally. I use natural weight loss hashtags. You know what I mean? But I essentially realized that I was stopping myself. I was having about 1,200 calories a day, extremely low carb. And I was doing a 5K of cardio every single day, 7 days a week. So I would go to the gym at 5 a.m. and I would do a 5K either on the treadmill or the elliptical. Okay. No weights, no strength training, just strictly cardio for a 5K. Go to work, proceed with my day, have about 1,200 calories, very low carb. And at the end of the day, it was not sustainable. And that brought me to like August of 2019. I was at my lowest weight of the 380s. And then I ended up leaving my son's father. It was a very toxic, abusive relationship. He was sabotaging my weight loss. I was looking good. I went from 509 pounds to like 380. And he was like, you're going to leave me. You're going to go for someone else. Like, you're beautiful now, blah, blah, blah. And I ended that relationship.
Yeah.
And then a few months after that, we hit the pandemic. And the weight just slowly started piling back on.
Yeah.
And then at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, I decided I was going to get back into it. And I started working with a personal trainer, and I started working with Neil. He was my coach, and I was about 476, I think I was, when I started back with him. So I didn't make it all the way back to 509. Yeah. But I definitely gained a significant amount of the weight back. But this was my introduction to strength training. Okay. And I ended up working with him and getting all the way down back to 400. Okay. And I was deadlifting 300 pounds. I was squatting 200 pounds. I was overhead pressing 85 pounds. Like, strength training, I fell in love with. I felt like a badass bitch every time I entered that gym. I felt strong. But weight loss doesn't happen in the gym. Yeah. And I was going to the gym and I was banging out these workouts and I was pushing. I'm not used to wearing AirPods, sorry. I was pushing, I was pushing heavy weight in the gym and like getting by, and then I wasn't doing what I needed to do in the kitchen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the food, I wasn't there with it. So, my progress was very, very slow. I didn't even get out of the 400s with him. And then, the excuses just started piling back. And I was focused more on finding a love of my life than I was about my health. And, I started dating and getting into that scene. And my weight just fell back down. And then that brought me to 2023. And I started 2023 at 500 pounds. Okay. And I also started 2023 in a psych ward. I did a little grippy sock vacation in February of 2023. And it was a bad year. It was a hard year. I gained 100 pounds in 2023. Wow. So I started at 500 and I ended 2023 at 598.2 pounds, which is my heaviest weight. Wow. In that year, I joined the Feederism community, which is a kink community where men sexualize and fetishize women of a larger body. They are into the contrast. A lot of these men in this community are very fit, very in health. They love comparing their chiseled body to my very flabby, soft body. The whole contrast thing is very big with them. And food is an addiction of mine. And just like a drug addiction, alcoholism, you are going to do what you need to do to feed your addiction.
Yep.
And for me to feed my addiction for food, it was catering to these men that, would send me money to watch me eat. I mean, I'd get $100 from a guy and he'd be like, go order something on DoorDash and then FaceTime me while you eat it. Nothing sexual, nothing, you know what I mean? Like,
just eat.
I might have been a little extra and like just wore like a bra while I did it, you know what I mean? To like make it seem less weird, but I guess that would make it more weird. But I don't know. But yeah, and I dove deep into the Feederism community. There is a social media platform that is used primarily by the Feederism community, which I will never say. I will never say the name of this social media platform, because that I heard about it on TikTok. I was watching TikTok and I heard a woman say the name of this platform, and that's how I got myself involved. And I'll be damned if I am the reason someone else finds this platform and it goes through the trauma that I have now experienced from being in that community.
Can you talk a little bit about the trauma that you experienced?
Yeah. Okay. So Feederism is like the overall genre of this community, and there's like sub genres of it, I suppose. And one of them is death feederism, and it is exactly what it sounds like. These men wanted to feed me to death.
Wow.
And I was in such a low place in 2023. I did the psych ward thing. My mental health was fucking trash. And like, I found a community of thousands of men that thought I was top dog. Like I don't want to sound cocky, but like at 600 pounds, like you could call me fat, but like you could not call me ugly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was still cute. And I feel like it was a big thing in that community to find a woman my size that was still attractive.
Right.
So when I entered this community, I'm telling you, I joined that community, and I think within 5 days, I had over 10,000 followers.
Whoa,
on that platform. Yeah, within a handful of days. And I'm talking hundreds like more followers than I have on TikTok right now, which is about 300,000. I had more on the other platform.
Wow.
Within weeks, like within a month, I think. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had all these men telling me how beautiful I was, how perfect my body was. My biggest insecurities were their biggest turn-ons.
Right? Oh.
So like I loved, like I became addicted to that.
Yeah.
And so talks would happen like, oh, I want you to be bedridden. I want to feed you while you're laying in bed. And burning calories is a no-no in the Feederism community. So like they want they're wild. Like they talk about how lifting a fork to your mouth is burning too many calories. Like they want you laying in bed and they want to feed you, whether that's with a funnel, whether that's with fork and spoon, them doing it themselves. Like I want to feed you till you have to completely be dependent on me. Is what they want.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for some people. That's where they draw the line. You know what I mean? Is feeding someone to immobile. But then you have this other side of it where there's a group of people that will get off and want to feed you to death, knowing that your food addiction killed you.
Yeah.
A big question I get when I talk about the Feederism community is, is it this sexual thing? And it's really not. I met someone in this community in person.
Okay.
And we went on a date, and he took me to endless hibachi and sushi.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense.
We got kicked out because we were there too long.
Ah.
Like Because
Wow.
like he just kept like ordering and ordering and ordering and ordering, and I just kept eating and eating and eating and eating. And like the conversations we were having, like he was getting off on me talking about how I would go to the gas station and empty out my car before going home, so nobody at home would see the evidence of me stopping for fast food. He liked that because that was the food addiction was in control of me and I wasn't in control of that.
Yeah.
And that's what they get off on in this community. And you know, and like I'd like try to change the subject, and he's like, oh, tell me again how you only like to eat alone in your car. And I'd be like, oh, okay, like I like to eat alone in my car. And he's like, tell me more, like how does that make you feel? Like tell me more. Wow. And it's like, and like those are the things that like these guys want from you. I'm trying, I think it's called like fat talk or something. I don't know. There's like a word for it in the community.
Wow.
So it's not sexual, it's more like control and companionship?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Okay.
And then I had another guy that would pay me $50 for, he'd send me $50 on PayPal. We'd get on Snapchat, we'd do a video chat. Mm-hmm. And for 5 minutes exactly, 5 minutes on the dot, this man would hang up. 5 minutes exactly, I'd have my mirror in front of my bed, I'd be fully clothed, and I'd have the camera facing the mirror, and I would stand up and sit down. Sit for a few minutes, stand back up, and sit down. Huh. And he was listening to the sound of the bed when I would get up and down. He would be listening to like how my body would like compress itself when I was sitting versus standing.
Wow. Huh.
And like we did this daily, daily, $50 a day just to watch me sit up and down on my bed. This same guy sent me $200 to send him a video. I had a Nissan Rogue, like a little SUV thing.
Yeah.
With like the trunk opens like this, you know. And he's like, sit on your trunk, stand up and then sit down on your trunk. And he wanted to see how low the car would go if I was sitting on the trunk of it. Wow. And I think the video was 7 seconds long, $200.
So it's, you know what I mean? Very
it's
like
money.
Seductive.
Yes.
In a way, because you're saying, well, I'm making $200 for a 7-second video. Why not? But you're not realizing the damage that you're doing to yourself.
Emotionally.
Yep. And then like I had a scale from like a scale that you weigh yourself on from when I was 509 to damn she's fine in 2019, and I had exceeded it. So these men were asking how much I weigh, and I couldn't tell them. Mm-hmm. So then one of them sent me a scale, and I'm looking at it right now, and it goes up to 625.
Wow. Okay.
So, and he said, I can't wait to buy you the next one. Like, dude, like it was crazy. And then that's like, so and it's just the trauma. And like, I made a video about this not too long ago. Someone made a stupid comment on one of my videos, like, why do they even make clothes your size? And it's like, well, first of all, they fucking don't. And second of all, that hit me so fucking hard because I remember having a conversation with someone in the Feederism community, and I was venting about how I don't get to dress how I want to dress, and it's hard for me to dress cute. It's hard for me to dress in my aesthetic. Mm-hmm. And his response was, babe, it's okay. They make king size sheets in all different prints.
Whoa.
And I was okay with that. Like I had accepted that I was going to eat myself to the point that all I could wear was a king size sheet.
Wow.
And like these men had me believing that's what I was destined for.
Yeah.
And there became a point where I got on that new scale that I was getting, and the number was going up. And I do a weigh-in Wednesday every Wednesday on TikTok and Instagram. And like when I had my OnlyFans when I had my OnlyFans that was catered to the Feederism community, I was doing the same shit on OnlyFans, except we were watching the scale go up.
And now you're watching it go down.
And now we're watching it go down. But it's
what triggered you out of that?
So I was driving still. And I didn't fit in my car. I legally should not have been driving.
Wow.
The steering wheel was digging so far into my stomach that I have a C-section on top of my stomach. My second child is on top of my stomach because my first child was underneath my apron, and I had a lot of complications with that.
Yeah.
So when I had my second child, my C-section is on top, and it's my belly button, and then I have like a 5-inch scar, which is a C-section scar.
Okay.
And the steering wheel was digging so far into my stomach and irritating that scar that my C-section scar from 6 years ago started to reopen.
Oh, shit.
And I remember I was home alone. Michelle, I live with my best friend. I'll probably name drop her a lot, but I live with Michelle. Michelle's my best friend. We're roommates. She wasn't home. The kids were gone for the weekend. And I felt like I was dying. Like my whole body was shaking. I was sweating, but I was shivering. Like I felt like I thought I had the flu maybe. Like, I don't know. So I was just like, I texted Michelle and I was like, hey, like, I'm not feeling good. Like, just check in on me every once in a while, blah, blah, blah. And like, as the night progressed, like, it just got worse. And I called my mom and I was like, do me a favor and call me in the morning. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I need you to make sure I'm still alive. Like, I literally feel like I'm dying. And at this point, I was sweating, I was shivering, shivering. I was in my underwear and a tank top that rolled up under my tits.
Okay.
So like my whole body was out. I was home alone. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, exactly.
On the way to my bathroom in the hallway, I have a floor-length mirror.
Okay.
And I had got up to go to the bathroom and I caught myself in the mirror and my whole stomach was fluorescent red and like hot to the touch.
Oh,
and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I think I sent a picture to Michelle, or I called Michelle and I told Michelle, and she was like, bro, like, let me come take you to the emergency room.
Yep.
And I was like, bet. I was like, let's go. So she comes and picks me up and then we go to the emergency room and I think I'm in the waiting room maybe 20 minutes. I'm in a room for all of 5 minutes and they're like, you're getting admitted. And I was like, all right. So they took, like, I get blood drawn and you get like tiny little vials. Like they were taking like mason jars worth of blood from me. And I was just like, what is going on? And it was for all these culture tests and all this stuff. So long story short, I ended up with cellulitis and sepsis from from it getting infected from the steering wheel.
Oh my gosh.
You could die.
And I was told that if I had waited any longer, I would have gone in septic and I would have died.
Whoa.
And this happened to be 2 days before Christmas.
Holy shit.
So I spent Christmas in the hospital away from my children because of essentially my weight.
Yeah.
And because I had allowed myself to get so big that simply driving my car nearly killed me because of my size.
That's insane.
And that was the moment where I was like, something's gotta fucking give. Like, we can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to fucking die.
Yeah, you almost took yourself out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got out of the hospital a couple days before January 1st. And January 1st, just like 90% of the world, I made that resolution and I was like, we're doing this. And then January 1st came, I started doing it, you know what I mean? I had an appointment with my doctor to do a follow-up on the irritation, the infection. And I looked at her and I said, I'm ready. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, I'm ready to get surgery.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation we had many times. She's been my PCP for years. She is maybe 4'5" and 100 pounds soaking wet. And this lady has never made me feel fat. She has never made me feel bigger than her. Like she is amazing. And when she first became my PCP, she said, I want to talk to you about weight loss surgery, but I know if you're not ready, I'm wasting my breath.
Yep.
So tell me when you're ready. And like, I don't want to offend you guys because like I'm on the bench now too, finally. But like, I viewed weight loss surgery as the easy way out for so fucking long.
Oh, you don't offend us.
You know what I mean?
We all thought it at one point.
I think the culture kind of fed us that.
Right.
Yeah. And so like we all believed it. Like I was 308 pounds and thought I wasn't big enough to have it.
Yeah.
Right.
you know? So I'm like, no, girl, you're in the 300 club. Like, you need help. Like, I had no idea that I was just like, oh, this is for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was 265, 270, and I thought the same thing. I was like, there's no way I'm big enough to, like, that, you need to be 600 pounds because, 600-pound life.
Yeah.
That's what we all saw. And we're like, oh, no, I got to be 600 pounds to do it. Like, my weight doesn't
I have to do it naturally. I'm not going to
naturally.
And
that was why that's why that was my big thing in 2019. So now, like, I'm jumping on this bandwagon again of losing weight, and it's like, I'm going to do it naturally. I'm going to make my kids proud. That's what I kept saying. I'm going to show them that I can do this naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make my kids proud. And, naturally didn't fucking work for me. Because I gained it all back, plus an additional 100 pounds.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, like naturally ain't for me. If it's for you, like, good for you, props to you, like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But guess what? Like, that's not my journey no more. That's not my story no more. I tried and I failed. Yeah. And I failed, and like I said, like, not only did I fail, like, I gained an additional 100 pounds.
Yeah.
On top of the 130 I lost naturally. So she started my referrals to get me into some weight loss clinics to figure out my options. And she said, in the meantime, let's get you on a GLP-1.
Yes, I love this doctor.
Like, yeah. And I was like, all right, sick, bet. So she gave me Zepbound, and I did Zepbound for 7 weeks, at the beginning of the year. And I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great. That food noise was off. A lot of people are like, what's food noise?
Yeah.
For me, my definition of food noise is constantly thinking about food.
Yep.
I could be actively eating.
And you're
lunch,
still thinking about it.
And I'm like, what are we having the meal between lunch and dinner? What are we having for dinner? What am I having for lunch tomorrow?
Yep.
Like, how am I getting it? When am I getting it? Where am I getting it? Mm-hmm. How much of it am I getting?
Yeah.
Food noise is going out to a restaurant and reading a menu and not looking for what's going to taste the best, but what's going to be the biggest. That is food noise. That is where I struggle immensely in my addiction, because the food noise literally takes over my life.
I am 100% with you, girl. 100%. Because when I started Mounjaro when Zepbound was Mounjaro, and it worked within 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
6 hours later, I was like, what the fuck? I haven't even thought about food.
Right.
This is the first time, I think, in my entire life I haven't thought about food.
Right. It's like, what do you think about? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's so much more brain space.
I'm like, this is what it's like not to hear about food 24/7.
Yep.
I'm like, but I have to admit, though, too, the whole GPL-1 thing was a little hard for me in the beginning, and I think it was a me problem that I portrayed as something else. A fun fact about Michelle is she's diabetic. And she struggled finding her Mounjaro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, struggled. And, like, she wasn't getting it for weight loss. You know what I mean? At the time, Michelle was maybe 200 pounds. Like, she needed this for her diabetes.
Yep.
And here I am, and a bunch of people in the world are now going after these medications for weight loss, while I got someone in the next bedroom from me struggling to get their diabetes medication.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that for a while.
I'm sure.
And, someone told me, just as much as Michelle deserves this medication to better her life, so do I.
You do.
You know what I mean? I am just as worthy of that medication as a diabetic patient.
Yes.
And that was something that took me a lot to realize and accept, and it was something I needed to hear repeatedly. I needed to hear from Michelle that she wasn't mad at me, that I was finding Zepbound and she wasn't finding Mounjaro.
Mm-hmm.
And so for 7 weeks I did Zepbound, and then I started struggling to find it.
Okay.
And, it became stressful. Like, I got 2 shots left. Like, am I gonna get a box before I run out? Like, I don't know. I don't want to go back to food noise. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
that was every month.
That's this one over here.
Year. Every month I went through that. And I was just like, I was the same way. I was calling 2 weeks ahead.
Yep.
Do you have this? Are you like all of this stuff?
You called like 10 places.
Yeah, I called like 10 places in a row, and I would drive up to an hour to go get it.
Yep.
Right.
And it's so fucking frustrating, because it's like, you are offering us this solution to our food noise. We are now reliant on your medication, yet there's no medication out there. How can you do this to the society that we have? Like, that's what frustrates me, is like, you should not put this medication on the market unless you know that you can produce enough for the amount of people that need it.
Right. Oh, they didn't know. They didn't know this was going to go crazy.
Well, but it's been 2 years now.
It's been a while now. Like, it's time to let's hire more people and get production
let's get this going.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people looking for work. Like, let's give them some jobs, you know?
Seriously.
Well, and we've heard it's not the medication, it's the pen. But it's like, find a new person to make the pens. Like, or offer it in a vial where we can inject ourselves. Like, offer it in a different, we do compounded semaglutide. But it's like, come on, you can't do this to people. And especially for you, like, you're struggling at 599 pounds. Come on. Yeah. Like, you need this medication just as much as anybody else needs their medication.
Right. And something, it just popped in my head after you said that, like, getting Zepbound was not easy. You know what I mean? My doctor fought with insurance companies for months. Like, I tried Mounjaro, got denied. I tried the Trulicity, I got denied. I tried Ozempic, I got denied. I got, and Zepbound was finally the one where they were like, yeah, we got you. I was like, oh, about fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, thanks.
Wow.
But during those 7 weeks of me being on Zepbound, I met with my surgeon, my team.
Okay.
I went through Tufts in Boston, downtown Boston.
Okay.
And I met my team, and, he wanted me to lose 50 pounds before surgery. And he was like, listen, you can stay on Zepbound to lose that 50 pounds. He's like, that's fine. Like, whatever you got to do to lose the 50 pounds. He's like, I got you. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, what about after surgery? And he was like, I don't want it. He's like, I don't want you on it after surgery. He said, maybe, like, let's see what happens. He said, I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. He said, but I would like you to start post-surgery without it.
Okay.
I was like, fair enough. So 7 weeks on Zepbound, I'm losing weight and I can't find it anymore. And in my head, I'm like, bro wants me off of it come surgery anyways. So I'm not going to fucking stress it. Like, I got to come off of it in a couple months anyways. So let's just fucking get rid of it. And that was my journey on Zepbound. So I had to lose 50 pounds through my surgeon. I had to go to like 2 behavioral health appointments. I had to go to like 3 nutritionist appointments. And all my insurance required from me was to do what the program required of me.
Okay, right.
So I didn't have to do anything outside of what the program was requiring for surgery to happen.
Okay.
January 24th was my first appointment with my surgeon where they told me I had to lose 50 pounds. Surgery was April 22nd. And there is a lot of controversy on the internet that it happened way too fast, that I was not ready, that this is why I'm failing, this is why I'm losing so slowly. I am 5 months post-op tomorrow.
Congrats! That's exciting.
5 months post-op tomorrow. And I am down 92 pounds from surgery.
You're not. Yes. Fuck that.
172 pounds total since January 1st. But I have the internet shutting down saying I am failing. I had the internet for the past 4 months saying I never fucking had surgery.
What is their problem?
I said enough is enough. Like, and I took screenshots from my portal, the app on my phone, and I took all my screenshots from the date of surgery with all this language that I don't even know how to read, all these numbers, all these details, and I just fucking banged them out on my Instagram stories.
Good.
And I watched these people close their mouths.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had fucking surgery, guys. Like, they were saying my scars were because they went in to do surgery, but because I failed so bad at the liquid diet, which I did not, like, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back a little bit. You're going to tell a 600-pound woman that has eaten herself to 600 pounds that she needs to be on a liquid diet for 3 weeks, and you expect me not to have a couple slip-ups?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Happen.
It's gonna happen. Did I have these full, ginormous buffet meals in that 3-week liquid diet? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? But the internet was convinced that I had failed my liquid diet so much that my surgeon went into me, cut me open with his little fucking slashes, saw my liver was too big, and closed me back up and said no surgery.
No, he did not.
Like,
no, he did not.
People,
Okay.
yeah, like insane. Like the stories that are about me on the internet, like me and Michelle just kick back and like read them, and like it's insane. It's insane.
Kind of laughable, right?
It's so laughable. You can't help but laugh.
You're like, bro or girl, whatever you are.
Right.
They're just bros.
It's like,
right.
Come on, like. I probably say this too much, but I'm just like, get a fucking hobby and stop worrying about my ass. Like, like, you're just spewing like lies and negativity all over everybody's pages, and like, this is not okay. Like, nope, you didn't have surgery. Fuck your face, I did.
Right. Yeah. And like my biggest thing is like 92 pounds. And granted, I get to weigh in one more day tomorrow because 5 months technically isn't in tomorrow.
That's right.
So that 92 could be 93, 94. Let's say 90 and meet people in the middle. 90 pounds in 5 months. Like, how much do you want me to fucking lose?
Right? Yeah.
Like,
I'm thinking,
you know what I mean?
What's
like,
their definition of failing?
Yeah.
Right.
Because failing is laying down and not doing anything.
Yep. Right.
But you are actively working towards your weight loss goal.
Right.
So
losing weight.
And losing weight. So it's like, so what's your, like, that's a question to put out there. What's your definition of failing? Because I've done A, B, and C, and D. So what the fuck do you want from me?
Seriously.
Right. But like the thing I've learned and I'm coming to accept is you cannot win with these people. You know what I mean? She's lying about her weight. She's photoshopping her pictures. It's to the point now where I have a scale that talks back to me, and I record myself getting weighed with no cuts, no nothing, and I'm still lying about what that scale says. I have programmed the scale to say 10 pounds less than what I actually am. Like, these people are insane. Like, insane.
Because it's
and
like do you have time to do all these lies?
Right.
It's like
and like the biggest thing for me is like the internet. I say the internet, but I'm very much talking about Reddit, and I don't care who the fuck knows that I read Reddit. Yes, I read my fucking Reddit. You cannot tell me that you know something like that exists about you and you don't read it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like I'm going to fucking read it. They're like, oh, she's our biggest fan. Hey, Caitlin, like what's up? Like let's talk. Like tell me who you are. Like come to my face and tell me these things, not behind an anonymous screen name on fucking Reddit. Like, let's grow up. Let's woman to woman, man. Like, whoever you are. Like,
there could be a Reddit
like
about
their biggest thing. Their biggest thing is, I'm so mentally unwell. But what are you? If you're stalking my pages, the other day I had a story that I posted on Instagram, and when they screenshotted it to put it on Reddit, it had been posted 57 seconds ago.
Oh, they're watching.
57 seconds. My story had been posted before it was screenshotted and added to Reddit.
That's wild. That's why they say nothing can ever be erased, because we got wackos like that.
Right. But I'm the mentally unwell. I'm the mentally unwell. But these people are going out of their way to talk shit about me and make lies about me and judge everything I say and do. But I'm the mentally unwell.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, make it make sense.
Yeah. So talking about mental health, where are you with your mental health? Are you seeing a therapist?
I am. I'm in therapy. I see.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's that was a requirement with my program to get the surgery, was to be in some sort of therapy.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been great. I think everyone should be in therapy.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer that do I think everyone in the world should be on meds? No. Am I on meds? Absolutely. Do I need meds? 100%.
Yep.
But like, I think it should be required for everyone to have some form of therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? The world would be a better place if everybody was in therapy.
Yeah.
My mental health right now is I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? I got some family drama going on that I've recently shared on the internet, as in hours ago.
Do you mind what's going on?
My son's father is very mentally unwell. Very mentally unwell. And I've had to make the decision to take his rights away. He is currently incarcerated for attempted murder. And I have been very fixated on not fucking my kid up for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, how do you tell a 6-year-old with autism that he's never going to see his father again because he tried to kill your favorite person, which is my son's Nana?
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I lost my pod. I've been completely open on the internet about all this as of recently. So like, I don't mind that we're talking about it. But like, it's real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is some heavy fucking shit. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not eating. You know what I mean? I'm not binging. I'm not finding comfort in food. You know what I mean? I'm talking about it, and I'm not holding it all in. And you know, I'm asking for help. I posted a very vague video about a week and a half ago that some shit was going on, but me and my son were safe. And you know, last night I recorded the video talking details and putting it out there. And you know, it's gonna break my heart, and it already has broken my heart. I've been reading the comments all morning, but I made that video because I need help through this. You know what I mean? There's no rule book. There's no how to do book to get a child through what we have to go through now. And I am fortunate enough where I have a large enough platform that I can take a break from the weight loss shit for a second to be like, hey, has anyone experienced this? What did you do? What did you do for yourself? What did you do for your child? And like, my DMs and my comments have been overflowing with people just being supportive, giving their suggestions, giving their advice, telling me what they did, which is heartbreaking that there's more people going through this, more children going through this than just me. But like, I no longer feel alone.
Good. That's
and
amazing.
that was the purpose of sharing it publicly, is I'm not alone. And you know, even if someone doesn't comment on the video, but they're like, wow, that's me too. They no longer feel alone. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I'm so raw and open and honest online, is because I need to know I'm not alone. And I know I'm not the only one that needs that reassurance.
Well,
you know
and
what I
that
mean?
helps you with your weight loss journey.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because having that support, and that's what's so amazing about the weight loss surgery community, is that the majority of us are super supportive. They're like, oh yeah, you're amazing. You're doing great. Like, you're doing the damn thing. And, or if you're having a bad time, they're like, you can do this. You've got, you know, I've been there. Or just the support makes you feel like, I do have this.
Yeah.
I do got this. Like, that's a big thing to have, especially when you have mental health issues, especially when you have a food addiction. Having that support, and I'm guessing you haven't had much of that, of like knowing where you're at. And that's the other piece, is that they know where you're at.
Yeah.
They remember being in the exact spot you are. Not like to the T, but you know.
No, it brought stuff up for me because like I'm so thankful that my child is 18 and has gone through this, because 2 years ago I had to kick out my ex-husband.
Has it been 2 years?
It'll be 2 years in December.
Jesus.
Right?
That just, it feels like yesterday.
No, cops were called and all. So like, it was, I mean, he's an addict, and he's an addict to oxy and cocaine, and he was getting really mean to me and Dylan. And it was awful, and we didn't know what to do. And I've been dealing with this for years. It was just getting to the point where I couldn't handle his addiction as well. Like, I realized I was enabling because I was almost making it okay by being like, hey, just don't do it every month. Like, every couple months is fine, you know? And it was just like, no, that's not okay. And now he's full-blown addict, and it's like, it's wild, and it's awful. Yeah. And he didn't show up to Dylan's graduation and all these things. And like, being that parent for that kid that doesn't understand why dad's not there, and he's just crying after graduation, I wanted to fucking kill him, because there is no reason for my son to come home after a great graduation with all his friends and family, except for his fucking dad, and crying in his fucking room. Yeah. Because the one person he wanted there wasn't there. And then just, it's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's 100% heartbreaking, and it sucks. And like, talk about it more, because yes, we all need to talk about it more. It helps mentally. I talk about it all the time. I'm on my Lexapro and Wellbutrin. I pay for my serotonin. I don't give a shit. I need it. Like, we go through some heavy shit, and we need some help, because I didn't get therapy till Yeah, like year 7. It was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad, guys.
Yeah.
All I had was a 15-minute phone call to clear me to say that she's not crazy and she's not going to, like, become a hermit. And that was it. So I dealt with all this by myself, no one helping me. That's why we started the podcast 4 years later, because Kelly got it. And this motherfucker's teaching me shit. And I'm getting mad because I'm like, I'm your veteran. I'm supposed to be helping you. Yeah. And you're teaching me. And I was like, there's got to be more people out here that are having problems because, like, I'm 4 years out and I do so much research, but I'm, like, breaking down inside.
Yeah.
Like, all the fucking time.
We don't know how to cope without food.
No.
So we have to learn and to be able to go out on my platform and say, I'm struggling, and have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people give me advice and tell me what they do. Like I don't regret sharing this journey publicly at all. Yeah. I have, like, do I have trolls? Does Reddit fucking keep me up at night sometimes? Absolutely.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, I like to say, for every one negative comment, I have hundreds of thousands of positive. I'm not saying like 1 to 10, 1 to 20, like 1 to 100, 1 to like hundreds of thousands of followers. I think between Instagram and TikTok, I'm over 500,000 right now.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's that one message a day that I'll get that's like, you inspired me. And it's like, I say it's the one message I get, but in reality, I get hundreds of messages a day like that.
Yeah.
And even if it was just one, I've done what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the fact that I can turn that one message into so many fucking more, like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep sharing. I'm going to keep encouraging people, but I'm also going to be very real and very honest. The first 48 hours after surgery, I had nothing but regrets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not alone.
Like, I was like, what the fuck did you just do? Like, you just fucked up the rest of your fucking life. Like, I was so mad at myself. And I say 48 hours, but I'm probably talking like 6 days. Like, the first 6 days was fucking... like, you know what I mean? I'm sipping friggin' protein out of a medicine cup that I can't even keep down.
Yeah.
I just had huge abdominal surgery and I can't stop throwing up and using all my core muscles. Like, this is the rest of my life? Like, this is like, I'm going to be drinking protein shakes out of a syringe for the rest of my life? Like, that's all you see in those first 6 days. You know what I mean? And I was very vocal about that online. And I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, why'd you guys let me do this? You know what I mean? Like,
it's because we all forget about that first week after a while.
Right?
Yeah, like, it doesn't even play.
I tell everyone the day 6 and day 7 were like night and fucking day.
Yeah.
Like day 7, I was like, I got this. Hell yeah. Like, we got this. Like, you know what I mean? And that first week, though, I was like, Caitlin, what did you do? Like, what did you do? Like, there's no coming back. Like, you can't revert. Like, you are going to be like this for the rest. Like, no wonder you're going to lose weight. You can't even friggin' smell a protein shake. Never mind drink it. Like, this is going to be brutal. And, like, I got through it.
You did.
Like, 5 months tomorrow, 90-something pounds down. Like,
that's amazing.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Are.
And, you know, my surgeon so I went with the sleeve. Are both of you guys, are you both sleeved?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so I got sleeved, which a lot of people were very upset about in the beginning. They're like, really? No, at your size, you need the full gastric bypass to lose the amount of weight you need to lose. You're not my doctor, thank you.
Yeah.
My surgeon wanted to go with the sleeve. I'm going to butcher the name of the other surgery. Wanted to go with the sleeve because he wanted me to have the option to have the dual switch. Yeah, he wanted me to have that option to do that further down the road. And he said, if we start with the gastric bypass,
you can't do that.
That's not an option. That you get your one surgery and you are one and done. So I'm very real with you guys. I'm very real with my surgeon. I have no fucking desire to be under 200 pounds.
Oh, okay.
I want to be healthy, thick. I have been big my whole life. Yeah. I want curves. I want tits. I want thighs. You know what I mean? Like, I want my man to still be able to grab me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have no desire to be 100 and something pounds. So my surgeon says that with this one sleeve surgery, he predicts that I'll get down to 260.
Okay.
Within a year post-op.
Great.
Wow.
So he thinks I'll be 260 by April next year. I am 427 as of this morning. So he thinks I got another 200 pounds in me somewhere.
You do.
You do. Don't you worry.
got it.
And then at 260, he will refer me to get my hanging stomach removed.
Awesome.
I think it's a panelectomy or something is the proper term.
They call it panny.
Yeah. And like he said, and he predicts that I'm going to have about 40 pounds of skin removed.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring me down to 220. And my goal is 200, 220. You know what I mean? I have no desire, right? I have no desire to be below 200. You know, I want to be able to go to TJ Maxx and Target, and I don't care if I have to buy an extra large shirt. It's not a fucking 8X.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't care if I can only buy a large or an extra large. I'm not buying a men's 8X tall.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people get mad at me about that too. Like, you got surgery and you still want to be fat? And I'm like, well, like, I'm first of all, I'm 5'8". I'm on the taller side for a woman. You know what I mean? And like, I just feel like anything under 200, I'm gonna look sick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And everybody has their own goal.
Right.
Yeah, and body types are different.
Body types are different. Yeah. Body shapes that you want are different. Like, there is nothing wrong with being, if your goal is 220, 200, fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not 599 anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's my thing too. Like, even at 200 pounds, that's still a 400-pound weight loss.
Seriously.
How much weight you want me to fucking lose?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, 400 ain't enough for you people? Like, let me live my life.
Yeah.
You know? But it is like, and then my doctor, my surgeon, he's very cute, very nice. He's fine with that. Keelan, you want to be 220? He's like, I got you. I'll get you there. I'll help you. You do what I tell you to do, and you'll be there.
That's amazing.
If you get down to 220 and you want to keep going, I will help you, and we will do another surgery. He said, I don't see you getting past 260 without another form of surgery. Mm. However, that skin removal will bring me down to 220-ish because he predicts 40 pounds of skin.
Yeah.
But he doesn't see much less than that from this one sleeve surgery.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. And who knows? Yeah. Maybe when I get down to 220 and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, you know what, girl, you'd be fine if you lost 20 more. Like, then I'll do it. But right
that's
now,
your choice.
Right. For right now, I think I'm going to be content with where my surgeon sees me going.
I love that.
Yeah. And what's funny about losing weight too is like, I was a box. When you're like 300 plus, like, I don't have anything going on. But when I got down to 180, I have, like, even right now, I'm 222. So it's like, I have fucking curves.
Right.
And I have huge hips, and I had no idea because they were just sitting in everything else. And now it's like, you might love your body when you get to 220. Mm-hmm. Like, because it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I told my nutritionist this last week, I go, hey, I'm very comfortable in my skin. Mm-hmm. I really do enjoy my body. I just want to make sure I can live long and be a role model for others. Yeah. So if I stick here, I'm not mad about it. I'm like, but do I want to make sure I eat right and do the things? Yeah, absolutely. Right. But also, I'm not going to hate on myself. Like, I've gotten here.
Yeah.
And
like that's cool enough.
Like, the big thing for me is just like, my relationship with my body is going to change dramatically. Yes. 2023 is a good like I sexualized my body. You know what I mean? I was a big girl. I still am a big girl, but you know what I mean? And I make sure like the cleavage is in the photos, and because if I'm showing boobs, you know what I mean? They're not looking at my stomach, and it's things like that, and it's just, I'm gonna see my thighs. You know what I mean? I haven't seen my thighs in years. You know what I mean? And like, I've had an apron belly for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm going to be able to wear the clothes that I want to wear, and they're going to look how they're supposed to look. Yeah. Like, I can wear whatever I want right now, but like, it's not going to look the way it's supposed to look with the way my stomach is. I was nearly 600 pounds and I carried my weight in my stomach. Yeah. You know what I mean? For as big as I was, 600 pounds, I have small legs. You know what I mean? Like, I am an odd looking, fat, naked girl. You know what I mean? Like, and like, you mean to tell me that if I keep doing this and I keep pushing, like, we get to cut that off and I'm going to have thighs. Like, that's insane to me. Like, I can dress in the aesthetic that I want to dress in. I can express myself through clothing for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
Like, which takes me back to another conversation I just had with Michelle. Like, I love your hair, the pink and the purple. I absolutely love it. And my hair was obnoxiously purple for so friggin' long. That was like my signature.
I love the bright hair.
Right. But I looked at Michelle the other day and I had purple hair dye that I just bought and I didn't put it on. And it's like, I don't have to hide behind my hair anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't have to have all these facial piercings and this bright purple hair and, you know, the crazy outfits and the crazy sunglasses and, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to hide behind all that anymore.
Nope,
you know
can
what I
just
mean?
be you.
I did that because people were looking at that instead of how fat I was.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and we went on vacation to Myrtle Beach about a month ago now, and you know, I was in my bathing suit walking around the hotel. I was in my bathing suit laying out by the pool, laying out at the beach. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to cover up. You know, I wasn't wearing a t-shirt and shorts. I was wearing I was wearing a two-piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's those things that just feel so good. And I know as the weight keeps going and the loose skin gets worse, I know it's gonna fuck with me. But I'm prepared for that. You know what I mean? I'm prepared for the body dysmorphia that is about to come into my life when
it will, and it stays.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm preparing myself for that. But that's like, if anyone's listening that's doing this journey or anything like that, my biggest advice, take the fucking pictures. Take the videos.
That's like our number one.
Right. Like, be able, like, you don't have to post them. No. If you don't, like, I can't tell you how many pictures and videos I have in my phone that nobody will probably ever see. But I look at them all the time and I get that stupid pick art app where I can put them side by side. And, you know, I send them to Michelle and I'm like, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. She's like, if you're just going to post it on Facebook in 10 minutes, why do you send it to me? And I'm like,
well, then make sure you like it.
Right. But it's like, I am constantly looking at where I am now and where I was.
That's
and it's like those days where I feel like I don't look different. I need to pull those up because I do. I've lost over a person. I've lost 172 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, there is a difference. There is a big difference. How I breathe, how I talk. When I first started on TikTok, in the beginning of the year, you know, a lot of my troll comments were, oh, she's heavy breathing. She can't even sit and talk to us without us listening to her breathe. And it's like, it's not like that no more. You know what I mean? I might be a little huffy puffy if I'm getting excited and I haven't taken a breath in a while. But like, I can get through a video where like, I'm not hearing myself breathe. There was one of those stupid trends on Instagram the other day, and it was like, repost something from September last year.
Okay.
You know, like in your stories, they do that or something. So I clicked on my album and I scrolled to September, and it was a video of me eating a burrito or something. And I had never watched it because, you know, I took it and then I sent it to whoever bought me the burrito. And I was watching it and I couldn't believe how heavy I was breathing. Just sitting down eating, and how heavy I was breathing. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to like watch and see and look at the stuff from your heaviest to where you are now.
Yeah.
And like, I'm already so blown away. Like, you mean like there's still 200 more pounds to go? Like, that's great. Like, I talk about all the time how my quality of life has drastically changed.
Yeah.
And I'm only halfway there.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm only halfway there. Like, and I am thriving right now. I am walking my kids to the playground. I am taking my kids on 15-hour road trips to go to Myrtle Beach for vacation for a week. Like, I couldn't do that 170 pounds ago.
No.
And this is what I'm doing now at 420. What am I going to be doing at fucking 220?
You're going to be living your fucking life to the fullest. That's what you're going to be doing.
And it's like, I'm so grateful for this surgery. I'm so grateful for this tool. Do I have my moments? 100%. Vacation was a big one. So I don't know if you guys, I'm in Mass. I live in Salem, Mass.
Okay.
Massachusetts,
Oh,
South Carolina.
I'm gonna be in Salem next the week of the 1st.
Well, hit me up. I'm here every day.
I will.
Yeah.
I'd love to give you a hug and meet you in person.
Yeah, of course. But like I was saying, I went to South Carolina to Myrtle Beach with my kids and Michelle and her son, and like driving when we drove, it was a road trip. We drove, and it's like I drove by all these fast food places that I've never heard of.
Okay.
And I couldn't, I couldn't stop and eat at them, and it was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking depressing.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
Can't try any of these things.
Right,
Yeah,
here I am in South Carolina now. We're going out every night for dinner, and like all these fried foods that like you never thought could be fried, they're frying, and it's like I can't experience that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is depressing. Like I'm watching everyone else eat all this good Southern food, and I got my chicken and broccoli. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's depressing, and I struggled with that for a little bit, and then Michelle reminded me, like, bitch, you wouldn't be on vacation at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been.
If you didn't get this surgery, you'd be fucking dead.
I like
you know
Michelle.
what I mean? Like,
Me too.
and I always say, everyone needs a Michelle. You just can't have mine.
Nice.
But, like, so yeah, like, I get depressed about it sometimes, but, like, the pros outweigh the con.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm depressed that I couldn't eat the food while I was on vacation. But because I had surgery, I was able to go on vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's the things like that make it so like I'm not regretting this decision,
Yeah.
And I mean, a big thing for me on the way home, I stopped at Buc-ee's, and like that was my first time going to a Buc-ee's, and 600-pound Caitlin would have fucked a Buc-ee's up. Like I would have.
I heard they're great. Yeah.
I dreamed of going to Buc-ee's. We went to Buc-ee's. I got some merch, like sweatshirts, keychains, blah, blah, blah. And then I got one sandwich. That one sandwich took me 5 hours to eat.
Yep.
And it was like, it was delicious. When the first like 20 minutes when it was hot and warm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it's so wild. You know what I mean? And like, I was upset about it. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to try everything that Buc-ee's had, But I was like, don't waste your money, Caitlin. You're going to end up throwing it away. Like,
right.
So I got the one sandwich. It took me 5 hours to eat for the ride home. And it's just, it's those little things that you think about. And you're like, did I do the right thing? And you know what? Life isn't about food anymore.
No. Yeah.
And like, that's something, right. And it should have never been.
Yeah.
But it was, and it was for so long. And, now I have 2 boys. Hunter is just turned 10 and Polly will be 7. And, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that my kids, are following in my footsteps. And are my kids perfect sizes? No. Are my kids overweight? Yes, they are. You know what I mean? But like, I'm fixing myself so I can be a better example for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Polly is 6. He has autism, and we are really struggling right now. And I finally have admitted that out loud. You know what I mean? Polly's putting on some weight. But me and Polly got a lot fucking going on right now. You know what I mean? And like, it's very hard for me to say no to him right now.
Yeah.
But I find myself telling him, Polly, do you want to end up like mommy? Like, do you want to be this fat? Like, and it's like, is that how I should be approaching it? Probably not. You know what I mean? But like, I don't want him to have an unhealthy relationship with food. And like, I feel like my relationship with food became so unhealthy because I was told no so much.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I had to sneak to eat. And like, I don't want my kids to feel like they have to sneak to eat. So like, if I say no, is he going to sneak downstairs and eat it in the corner in the kitchen before coming back upstairs? You know what I mean? And it's hard. And if I put a bowl of fruit on the table and a bowl of cookies, both my kids will go for that bowl of fruit. I can say that.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean? Like I will die on that hill. My kids love fruit, veggies, but like, they're snackers. And we are BJ shoppers. We buy snacks in bulk. And you know what I mean? Like, and it's hard. It's hard. And I am in the public eye. And you know what I mean? I it's hard. Like that's probably what I'm struggling with right now is I spent 33 years not knowing how to have a healthy relationship with food. How am I supposed to teach children how to have healthy relationships with food when I was never a child with a healthy relationship with food? You know,
I want you to remember that you just started your weight loss goal and your health goals 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So you are only 9 months in to you figuring out how to eat healthy, what to do to stay healthy, all these things. Your kids will follow suit.
Right.
They slowly do.
They will they will start to understand that, like, oh, we just don't eat that. Or you know, or hey, we can have this, but we're gonna have it in moderation. And so you can have this one piece, and then tomorrow maybe you can have another piece.
Right.
Like you'll learn, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You're a smart ass fucking woman, and you're a fucking warrior.
Thank you.
The shit you've been through, like, everything will start to align for you. I can feel it. Because I go a lot off of feelings. Like, and vibes.
Right.
But I want you to just remember when you're starting to be like, how do I do all of this? Like, what do I need to do? You're only 9 months into your journey. Like,
give yourself some grace.
Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some time. You guys will figure it out together. And I also wanted to say that, like, with the foods that you were kind of like, oh, I'm mad because I can't eat it. You can eventually work those into your
later.
Yeah, later. So you'll get there. It's just in this moment you can't have it.
Yeah.
Which is like the other thing that I want to talk about the bariatric community is like how people die on certain hills, bro. They're like, carbonation? Never again. Like, you know what I mean?
As
like,
I sip on my seltzer water.
Right. And like I was like, the first time someone saw me use a straw, I thought I was like, you would have thought I committed murder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my goodness. Like, and it's like, that's been like, I've been struggling with, you know what I mean? Because it's like, what's right, what's wrong? And, you know, someone told me, you listen to your surgeon.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different surgeon. Everybody has a different book of rules. I'm very close to someone in the community, and we talk a lot like outside in the real world, and you know, she made a couple comments like, wow, you're already able to eat that. And I ended up like showing her my packages of my paperwork and showing her what foods were allowed at what stage.
Yeah.
And she's like, good for you. She's like, if you can handle it, like, by all means, like, I think it was like fucking tuna fish or chicken salad or something. And she's like, you can already have that? And I was like, yeah, I got approved for it yesterday. But it's like, you know what I mean? But like the people that are like, you can't eat that, like, chill, bro. Like,
I know, the food police.
You know what I mean? The food, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, the food and bariatric rule police.
It's really and they go hard on those that are like new, like the first year. Yeah, it's ridiculous because we see it, and then sometimes I comment. So I'm like, that's not okay.
Yeah,
right. And like I will say I have not had carbonation yet, but I plan to. I plan to. I have consumed alcohol since surgery, which is a huge no-no, but like, you know what, like, I'm going to live my life. And, you know, and I had it in moderation. I was blown away how trashed I got so quickly.
I was going to say, you're going to be drunk real quick. Yeah.
I was like, I used to be able to put down, and I had one drink, and I was like, and I'm like, I love my life.
Right? It's wild.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I could do a 12-pack of beer before this, but now it's just like a shot or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people think that they know best, but I think the ultimate point is listen to your surgeon. Yes. They know best. And listen to your own fucking body. If you can handle drinking out of a straw because you're taking it slow and you're like working, like, or seltzer water, carbonation. I drink that all day, every day.
Right.
She does.
It's fine, people. It's fine.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Carbonation does hurt my tummy after a while.
Right.
So I don't get to drink it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's like, do what's best for you. I got the straw one too. Everybody was on my ass. But I was like, dude, I loved a straw beforehand. And Dr. Patterson said, if my body can handle it, then it's fine.
And most of the time, it's because of the air.
It's the air.
It's the air that you suck up, and then it bothers your stomach.
Right.
Okay. But the more you get, like, learn how to drink it after, You're fine.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Where are you guys in your journey with waiting 30 minutes to drink after you eat?
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill, to use your term. I firmly believe you should not be drinking while eating. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. But are you waiting the full 30 minutes?
I wait until I feel like it's processed.
Okay.
So like it might not be a full 30. It could be 20. It could be 15. Right. But I do not do those two together.
So, yeah. Which same.
Yeah.
I do not do them together. But I don't think I'm waiting a full 30 minutes.
Yeah, I would wait because the biggest thing for me is if I drink too soon, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll feel, it's so weird.
Yeah.
You'll feel like food float up.
Up here.
Yeah.
You feel it and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So we tell everybody.
It's funny because like
stand up, arms up.
Right. When I was like 600 pounds and I'd be full, I'd like rub my tummy and I'd be like, oh, I'm full, I'm uncomfortable. And now I'm like, I'm full.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm full. Like,
Yep.
So
right. We do that. I either do here or right here.
Right.
Yeah. The chest, right in the chest.
Yeah, I think I would just wait until you're not uncomfortable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Whatever that is to you.
Yeah.
The reason why we're both will die on that hill is because we did let it in. So we, like for me, it was around like year 5-ish where I would start drinking with it. I drink before, I drink after, and I regained. I was regaining because I was flushing it, and then I'd be, oh, I'm hungry again. Flush.
Right.
Because once you get outside of the year 3 or so, you feel like a normal person.
Yeah.
So now, because after Kelly's gone through it, and I've watched her, it's like, yeah, year 3 is like fucking hard.
Well, and there was some trauma.
I mean, but people think that the first year is hard. Actually, the first year is like a honeymoon period. You're all gung-ho, excited, because the weight's dropping, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that dopamine hit every time you see it.
Right.
But year 3, it's not falling like that. Or at all. Like, it just stalls. So, you have to be super mindful and not mean to yourself. Because that's what we've done, and then we've ate our feelings because we didn't cope yet. It was just a whole...
Well, and we didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it. Yeah, that was, like, brewing in our head.
Yep.
Like, I finally talked about it on an episode with Nolani, where I finally came out and said I'd regained, like, 50 pounds, and I was, like, almost in tears.
Yeah, and I did it with Michaela.
You did it with Michaela.
Yeah, it's so on the
funny.
podcast.
It's always on the pod where we were like, we'll finally say it.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean, like, to be fair to you, like, I was scrolling TikTok one day. It was shortly after surgery, and I was scrolling TikTok, and a video popped up, and a doctor was like, "Let me tell you the slider foods in the bariatric community." And like food addiction, Caitlin, she's like, "Do tell."
Yeah.
Like, tell me what are they? Mm-hmm. And I won't lie. Like I've indulged in some of the slider foods, and you know what I mean. And I'm like, this is weird. I'm not getting full. Like, how is this not happening?
Yeah.
Polly, hang on 1 second. I'm still in my meeting. I'm still in my meeting. Stay upstairs. Sorry.
You're good. That's good. It's real life.
Yeah. Right. He's in Michelle's room watching YouTube, and I was like, I'm in a meeting. I'm like, do not come in my room. I was like, I will tell you when I'm done. But like, yeah, like I found myself slipping into those slider foods, and you know what I mean? And that's when I have to get honest with myself. And I'm like, Keelan, like you're only hurting yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're only stalling your own progress. Like knock it the fuck off. Like, yeah. But it's human. You know what I mean? I ate myself to 600 pounds. Like the surgery, they did surgery on my stomach organ.
Yeah.
They did nothing to my brain.
Yep. No.
You know what I mean? There was no surgery up here. Yeah. I still have the mind of a 600-pound woman.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so if someone's like, I have a way that you can cheat around this sleeve, I'm gonna be like, oh, tell me. Let me take some notes. You know what I mean? Like, so that's been something that I've struggled with a little bit here and there. But I'm conscious of it now. You know what I mean? And I'm honest about it. And I'm like, hey, Michelle, can we not buy these anymore in the house? You know what I mean? Because that is the one food that I could probably eat the whole bag of and not get sick. Yeah. You know?
I love everything that you're doing. I love that you are becoming more aware. I think your journey is just going to become more and more amazing as the time passes. Mm-hmm. I think we might have to do a check-in.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to do a check-in. Maybe around her 1 year.
I want to see where you're at. In like a year, on your year's anniversary. Like, I would love to check in with you and see how you're doing. Like, so, cause I can see how well you're going to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely
It's April, right? It's April what?
April 2025 will be 1 year.
What's the date?
22nd, April 22nd.
Ooh, I was the 24th.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I was going to say, like, if it was, like, even closer, because we're going to be in St. Louis for the Just Be You Awards, April 12th of 2025. Yep. One, you are more than welcome to come. We want you there so bad. And
definitely send me more information about it.
100%. And I was like, oh, we could celebrate her 1 year.
Yeah, we can celebrate your 1 year. That would be amazing. Okay.
So much fun.
We have set that. Well, Caitlin, thank you so much for being on, like, and being open and honest and really sharing your life. It's absolutely fantastic. All of Caitlin's socials will be linked below, so go ahead and click on those links and go over and follow her. She's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And to the rest of you, we love you, and we will see you next time. Bye.